Guys, welcome to the Superhero Cut Show where we're talking about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Fantastic Four because I have a fan fiction that I made of what if the Fantastic Four was introduced in Avengers Endgame, because a lot of us think that they should have been introduced way earlier than they are now. So I wanted to make like a little fan fiction, fan theory, and just give you how I think it should happen. So let's get right into it. So, with the Fantastic Four coming into the MCU, I wanted to talk about how I would have brought them into the MCU if I wrote the movie. So I would have started with the Fantastic Four's entrance in Avengers Endgame. So in the scene where Tony Stark is at home and he figures out what spec he needs to make the time machine work, when he comes up to the Avengers HQ and talks to Captain America, and they end up, mending their relationship, Tony Stark says something like, "Well, I'm not coming alone." And we see a man with glasses walk up, and then they end up walking into the HQ, and we see Scott Lang ask, "Who is that?" to Professor Hawk. And then we hear Professor Hawk say to him, "That is Reed Richards." And then we see Bruce Banner basically fangirl over his work and talk about all of, the amazing things that he has done. So building up Reed to be this, amazing, smart, intelligent man, to be on the same level as a Tony Stark and as a Professor Hawk. Obviously, Tony is smarter than, Bruce in our MCU, but you guys get what I'm saying here. So throughout the movie, we see Reed and Tony Stark working super hard on the time machine. Now, Reed and the rest of the Fantastic Four team, they do not get to go with them back in time. We still focus on the main Avengers team during Avengers Endgame, but we see that after they recover the Infinity Stones, we see Reed and Tony Stark making the gauntlet. Now this will be a super awesome thing because listen, these are two of the these will be two of the smartest minds in the MCU, and Reed is smarter than Tony Stark. So them two working together to make the gauntlet makes a whole bunch of sense in my eyes. After the gauntlet is made, we see Tony Stark tell Reed that he needs Reed Richards and his team to go to space to put up some type of satellite to track how many people could possibly come back from the snap. And that is where we see Sue Storm, Ben Grimm, Johnny Storm. So the story goes as promised. Hawk snaps his fingers, and we see Hawkeye talk to his family on the phone, just like what we see in the film. Thanos then sneak attacks, and the war starts. But then what ends up happening is that satellite gets destroyed. It gets messed up. So we then see in space Reed and his team. They are in a full space battle with the Chitauri to get the satellite back online or replace it with a new satellite. Didn't really think about how that could happen. So we then see a battle happen as usual, and the Fantastic Four end up taking out all of the ships up there that is in space, and then Tony snaps his fingers. Now, when Tony snaps his fingers, the radiation from the snap could go all the way up through space, all the way up through the universe, and that alone could give them powers. And the after effect from the snap makes the ship catch on fire, and Reed and his team are crashing down to Earth, and they are unconscious. We then see Reed fading away. You know how in movies where you see people's eyes fade away, he goes unconscious. And when everyone is knocked out on the ship, we see Captain Marvel come and save the ship, and we see Reed's eyes open, and then the screen goes black. And we don't see them for the rest of the movie. They also are not at Tony Stark's funeral because they are still unconscious. And when we go to the end credits of Avengers Endgame, we see Reed wake up. He looks at his arm stretches, and the movie ends. I think that this would have been one of the best ways to introduce the Fantastic Four into the Avengers movie without making Reed a centerpiece in the film and still keeping the film about the OGs. I I I do believe to an extent it really hurt the MCU taking such a long time to introduce the Fantastic Four. And as happy as I am, that this Fantastic Four film is coming out, because I am very happy and can't wait to see it. This is just, a fan fiction that's been on my mind that I wrote out a while ago that I just wanted to, get out there. And I would love to hear what you guys think. But please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, and peace out.